What's up everybody, I'm Jessekazam. Welcome back to another Escape from Tarkov video. In this video, we're talking about 9mm. We're talking about the ammos, we're talking about the guns that use the ammos, and how effective they are, and if you should be using it in your raids. I stream Escape from Tarkov on Twitch. All my links will be down below. I'd love to have you stop by and say hey. And if you liked the video, think about dropping a like or subscribing for more content like this. YouTube may recommend the videos to you even if you don't subscribe, but subscribing helps me out a ton. So thank you so much to those that do that. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive right in. So we'll start off by talking about all the weapons that use the 9mm ammo in Escape from Tarkov. It's predominantly dominated by pistols and SMGs, and there's quite a few of each to choose from. So starting with the pistols, you've got the MP443 Glock and the P226. These are both pretty readily available towards the beginning. They're really cheap if you have access to the flea market, especially this late in wipe, but these pistols don't get very expensive. Even early in a wipe, because they're pretty available. You can buy them from, you can buy the Glock from the traders, you can buy them from Purpur, and they're pretty similar. They're just 9mm weapons. The Glock has an 18 round mag, the P226 has a 15 round mag. I mean, it's pretty standard pistol. The cool thing about like the P226 is that it is highly like moddable and customizable. You can suppress them, put a flashlight, change the grips out and the slides and stuff like that, which can be fun. It doesn't really make a whole lot of financial sense because it's not like you're working on getting the stats of a pistol to a certain place or something like that, but it can be fun to do if you've got some money to spend. Same thing with the Glocks. So there's two Glocks, the Glock 17, which is the semi-automatic Glock. Once again, highly customizable. The Glocks just feel like they shoot really straight and really well, and that they're easy to control. I love using these as sidearms if I'm sniping or something like that. They can be really fun. The Glock, you can get 17, 20 run, 50 round mags. It's pretty crazy. You can get a ton of mags, highly customizable as well. And then the Glock 18C is the same, except this can go full auto. I mean, the recoil is absolutely out of control, but you can go full auto with this thing, which can be super fun. And then the relatively newer addition is the Beretta M9, which you can get from Peacekeeper pretty early on as well. These are cool. Like I feel like I'm less accurate with them personally, just based on a feeling. But once again, you can kind of trick these out a little bit as well, and it's another pistol. At the end of the day, really, a pistol's a pistol. If you're going in for the budget, just, buy the cheapest one. If you're going to just have fun and max something out, then, try maxing out a Glock or something like that. It can be super fun, but they all use the same ammo. Having a higher magazine capacity can be really nice. Now, moving on to the SMGs, the Saiga 9. This is probably one of the most useless weapons in Escape from Tarkov. You can find them a lot on scavs and stuff like that if you need a weapon, but it's a semi-auto only 9mm weapon with the 30 round mag. So you can't full auto this. You have to, it's a small caliber. So if you might as well just go for a pistol, basically, because the magazines are smaller and they're most likely cheaper unless you're finding this off a scav. But moving into the proper SMGs, we've talked about these a little bit in the SMG breakdown video, so I'll just quickly go through them so then we can move on to the ammo types that the 9mm has. So the PP19 Vityaz you can buy from Purpur and off the flea market as well. This is actually really nice. It's cheap, and if you don't want to mod it out, this is a really cheap way to get something full auto really early in the wipe. That's awesome. The MPX is you can buy from Peacekeeper. Relatively affordable. Once again, the good thing about these is that they're highly moddable. You can put an optic, a foregrip, anything you want on really quickly without having to get any sort of like rails or anything. A flashlight, you can just slap it on and be ready to go. They're insanely customizable. You can get these things down to looking like M4s almost, like huge assault rifles with insanely low recoil. The MP9 is a fun one because of its fast fire rate. There's two. There's the MP9 and the MP9N. The MP9N, I believe, has an 1100 rounds per minute fire rate, which is absolutely insane. Like we talked about in the SMG video, the thing with the 9mm SMGs is their rate of fire and how fast they can just put rounds into your enemy. This can be suppressed as well, as can all of the SMGs. So these are fun. They're cool. They're small, 30 round mags. The MPX can go up to a 50 round mag, 50, 41, 30, which is super nice. The Vityaz is locked at 30. And then the last one, the MP5. This is the MP5 SD, which you can purchase from Peacekeeper, I believe a little bit later on, but you can purchase the MP5 stock from Peacekeeper as well. And then there's the MP5K, the Kurs or whatever, which is not very useful. But what I love about the MP5 SD, and I talked about this in the SMG video as well, is the fact that you can purchase this straight up. It's suppressed. All you have to do is buy the little adapter so you can put an optic on it. And now you've got a weapon with 26 vertical recoil. 26 vertical recoil off of a weapon that you just bought from a trader. The only mods you needed to do was just an adapter to add an optic. So suppress, this thing is awesome. I've been using this a ton as like a secondary with a sniper or something like that, like a bolt action, and been having a lot of fun. So like I said, we talked about this a little bit in the SMG video, but these are insane. You can get up to 50 round mags with these as well. So that's really it for the weapons, right? For pistols, if you're going for budget and you just want to shoot something with 9mm, then like a Grotch or an M9, something like that. If you want to trick something out and go crazy, I would say try modding out a P226 or a Glock. They can be super fun. For the SMGs, once again, if you're going super budget, a PP19 Vityaz is an awesome way to get full auto 9mm on a crazy budget. And if you want to trick something out crazy, just spend all the money on 9mm, mod out an MPX. And if you want somewhere right in the middle, you're not trying to spend a few 100,000 rubles, but you also want something that's a laser beam, the MP5 SD is just god tier in my opinion. So that being said, we can move on to the ammo. So we're not going to talk about every single ammunition type, but I'm going to talk about the top three in the two most used tactics, which is armor piercing or flesh damage. So when we're talking about armor piercing, right out of a wipe from Peacekeeper level 1, you have access, you have to use USD, but you have access to PST GZH. So this is going to be your best avenue for armor piercing right at the beginning. It only has 20 penetration and 54 damage. The 54 damage is nice because that's a decent amount. You're actually going to be, hurting somebody with that 54 flesh damage. But the 20 pen, that really is just for early wipe stuff. Low tier armor. This is when everybody's going to be rocking P.A.C.As or class 2 or 3 armor Karasas and stuff like that. You're going to be able to kind of chew through that relatively decently. Super low tier face shields or something like that. Even a level 3 face shield, you'd have to hit a few shots, but you can get through it. But early wipe, it's available and it works really well. A PP19 with PST GZH really early on in the wipe could absolutely shred. Moving on, up until recently, the AP 6.3 ammo was the best armor piercing. This has 30 pen and 52 damage. So this can get through a decent amount of stuff. 30 is a pretty big jump from 20. But then as of recently, a new ammo was added, which is the 7N31, which has 39 pen and 52 damage. So the 7N31 is the king. It is the god tier armor piercing ammo for the 9mm. So we can break down, I use the Battle Buddy app that Veritas made, and we can kind of break down with the 7N1 through some of the most common things. In 4 to 5 shots, this will go through an Alton face shield. Now you have to hit, 5 shots on the face to get through it. So consecutively would be nice, but you can get through an Alton face shield. 75% chance to hit through a fast MT on the first shot because that's a class 4 and this has 39 pen. 2 to 3 shots, you're going to go through that for sure. 97% chance to hit through a fast MT face shield, the class 3 ballistic one. So you're going to basically one tap somebody through that face shield, which is like a meta face shield, basically. It's going to take you around 5 or 6 shots to get through a Gen 4, which once again is insanely good if we're talking about stuff that shoots 900 rounds per minute. And it's going to go through a trooper at 76% chance to go through trooper first shot and after 3 or 4 shots. The trooper is nice because it's a class 4 armor with high durability, so that's why I threw it in there for comparison. Now, comparing that to the AP 6.3, we can show how much 9 pen does. It's going to take about 7 or 8 shots to get through an Alton face shield, 4 to 5 shots to get through a fast MT. It's got about an 80% chance to get through that face shield because it has 30 pen, 88% chance, but it may bounce one of those shots off. 8 to 10 shots to get through a Gen 4 and around 8 to 10 shots to zero out a trooper armor. So you can see the difference there. Now, if we're talking a difference though of just a few shots, 2 or 3 extra shots here and there, then it might be worth going for the AP if you think, because these guns have decently sized mags, you can get 50s for the MPX and the MP5, and they shoot fast. Because the difference in price isn't that insane. The difference is in availability. So the AP 6.3 you can buy from Peacekeeper. I believe it's level 3 or 4. I mean, if you're going for this high tier stuff, especially this late in the wipe, you probably have him leveled up. But it's 3 USD per round. So let's actually see exactly where we can buy that from. So level 3 Peacekeeper, which isn't insanely hard to attain. 3 USD, that comes out to, you know, $360 rubles or something like that around. Now at level, I believe it's 3, so level 3 purport, which once again isn't that hard to get, for just under 600 rubles a round, you can get the 7N31. So 600 rubles a round is actually pretty affordable for a round that is this good. It's the best in slot round for 9mm. The only problem is you can only buy 90 at a time. They are almost always sold out, and they don't often populate on the flea market. There's only 36 rounds on the flea market right now, and they're insanely expensive because these are very hard to find in raid. And when you do, you find them in very small quantities. So there's not a whole lot to be put on the flea market. So it's actually really hard to get a hold of a decent amount of the 7N31 unless you kill a guy that has a bunch. So if that's something you want to run, because it's not insanely expensive, when I'm playing, I'm just always kind of popping up to see if it's in stock, buy it when I can, get a decent stock, load a few of the mags with it, and some of the mags with AP 6.3. I think AP 6.3 is it's a good round if you're going in with a 9mm weapon and you kind of know what to expect. But that is kind of the difference there. So those are the 3 armor piercing ones. The other way to go is kind of the flesh damage. The leg meta is kind of the meme there. Personally, it is more of a meme to me. It's fun to go for leg meta. It's just like a funny thing to do. It's not a strat I would rely on though if I'm trying to make money or get into good PvP, because you have to hit the same leg a consecutive amount of times. You know what I mean? If they're running around, if they pre-popped painkillers and they can continue to run even after you blacked out their leg, it's going to be harder to do. A lot of times we're just mentally trained to shoot for center of mass or for the head. So training yourself to shoot for the legs, you're kind of pulling your view down, so it's hard to see other people. It's not a great strategy, but it is fun and hilarious. But if you don't have access to some of these armor piercing rounds, then high flesh damage is a decent way to go for scavs or for targets with not a whole lot of armor on. The 3 ammos here are the Luger Cci, the relatively new Quake Maker, and the Rip rounds. So the Luger Cci, which was kind of the king for a while, it's got about 70 flesh damage, and it will kill somebody if you can shoot them in the same leg consecutively in about 8 or 9 shots. Moving over to the Quake Maker ammo, this is relatively new. You can down somebody in about 6 shots if you hit them in the same leg consecutively, because it's got about 85 flesh damage. And the Rip rounds is the ultimate king. These guys sit at 102 flesh damage, and you can drop somebody in about 5 shots if you hit them in the same leg. Now, the Luger Cci you can get from Skier. And I believe it's pretty high up on Skier as well. Like, I think it's even, yeah, it's level 4 Skier. So you're kind of really working for that. The Rip rounds, you can only buy off the flea market. They do not exist from a trader. And you can get the Quake Maker rounds from Peacekeeper at, I believe, level 3. It's actually level 2. So you can get these pretty early on. So the Quake Maker, if you want to go for flesh damage, is a good way to go. The Quake Maker, actually getting access to this, Peacekeeper 2 isn't that hard to achieve pretty early on in the wipe. So this actually might be a good round because people are going to be using lower tier armor, if any armor at all, early in a wipe. So between scavs and lower tier PMCs, the Quake Maker might be a decent ammo. So that's kind of the breakdown of all the guns and the ammo that is worth mentioning, in my opinion, in the 9mm category. As always, I can't end this video by saying you should or shouldn't do anything. In my opinion, it always comes down to expectation, right? This is not a big old 308 round that's got crazy stopping power that's just going to shred armor and going to wreck PMCs left and right. You're not going to be one-tapping with these unless you're hitting in the face. But if you can go into a raid with the correct expectation, knowing that you want to engage on enemies when you feel like you can get multiple shots on them before they can react, then you're going to be in a place where you can use the strengths of it to your example, the affordability, the availability, the high fire rate of these weapons. A lot of times they have a higher chance of coming back in insurance because people that kill you don't like to take 9mm weapons. So with the SMGs, that's kind of my thing. I can't tell you if you should or shouldn't, but I know that I've had a lot of fun. I know that I've dropped a lot of PMCs really easily with solid face shots, especially with something like a Trick.MPX or an MP5 SD. That's just an absolute laser beam. The pistols are really underutilized, in my opinion, later on in a wipe. Having the opportunity to switch to a sidearm if you're in a firefight, even with a bigger gun like an M4, if you've dropped a mag and you hear another person reloading, if you hear him healing, if you know that you can get the drop on him, pulling out like a P226 or a Glock that's not even really modded with one mag full of that 7N31, just 17 bullets, that could shred. And people that utilize that well can kind of get the upper hand a lot. But then, of course, early wipe pistols are prevalent a lot. So using it with, PST or AP 6.3 or even like the Quake Maker ammo can be pretty effective as well. So that's it. That's the breakdown. I hope that this helped. I hope that the breaking down of the ammo and the guns, and then even conversation just about like expectation of 9mm and where it's strong and where it's not. I hope that helps you kind of be more confident in your decision to use or not use 9mm in Escape from Tarkov. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to check out this video. If I missed anything or if there's anything you'd like to add to the conversation, please drop a comment down below. Also, if you liked the video, drop a like or subscribe for more content like this. And like I said before, I do stream Escape from Tarkov quite often on Twitch. All my links will be down below. And if you're looking for people to play with, we also have an awesome Discord server that's just past 3,000 members. We've got Tarkov veterans. We've got newer players. If you're looking for people to raid with, ask questions, anything like that, that is an awesome place to be. That link is down below as well. Thank you so much again for stopping by, and I will see y'all on the next one.